Hello, mutant investors. This is Greg with another edition of Special Situations Investing with me. And we're going to be talking about some of the inner workings, the inner psychology that people need to be thinking about when they invest. Check it out. Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of my YouTube channel on Special Situations Investing and my personal investing practice. As a quick disclaimer, this video is for educational purposes only. Any companies that I mention in this presentation are discussed solely for illustrative purposes. Discussing such companies and the specifics about them is to help educate me and educate you about certain special situations. It is not a solicitation to purchase them. I recommend that you conduct your own research and identify why you might want to own the company yourself prior to your committing of any funds. I also recommend that you seek the services of a financial advisor that has considered your personal situation as your fiduciary. And then finally, may your education here grow your knowledge, improve your personal investing performance, and give you the confidence to take control of your future. Thanks a bunch for watching. Now on to the video. I've been doing these videos on investing since March of 2020, and as I've gone through this, I have learned a couple of lessons and I'd like to share them. And most of these lessons are focused in this video on the psychology behind investing. It's basically the inner game and some of the lessons that I've learned associated with the inner game of investing. So these are 5 principles that I've come up with that I think are necessary for anyone to be a successful investor, either in special situations or any other type of investing, and should serve any one of you well if you are able to apply these principles in your own investing practice. The first principle that I come across is that if we want to be a successful investor, we need to specialize in order to become an expert. Specializing, in my view, is the key to investing. It's the key to successful businesses. And in many parts of our lives, it's also the key to being successful in whatever thing that we are pursuing. Specializing to expertise is what causes people to become the best in their field. In my opinion, investors must specialize in order to build wealth. The second principle is that we need to train rationality. Charlie Munger often talks about how investors need to be rational when they make their decisions. He talks of the necessity for individuals to avoid the nonsense that is in one's time. He also explains that when we create systems that cause someone to rationally think through a problem, that will help us improve our returns over time. The third principle is that we need to commit to consistency. Consistency is necessary for any successful investor, no matter what kind of investing that they are doing. I use this channel as a way to consistently remain focused on special situations, and I wanted to pause for a second and tell you how much I appreciate your help by watching the videos, sharing them with friends, commenting below, hitting the like button, and subscribing. That actually helps me continue to make the commitment that I want to be here every single week talking about investing. And you, each one of you that have watched my videos, you are making me a better investor over time, and I appreciate it 100%. And I don't know what else to say. It's just, in my view, if I want to be a great investor, I have to be consistent, and I have to have something where I do things over and over and over again in order to get better. And you are the main reason why I'm able to do that today. So I really appreciate the help that you've done for me in that area. The fourth principle is that we need to review our mistakes and then humbly admit our errors. Often in this channel I share what I call postmortems. These are videos of my after investment thoughts. I do this because one of my mentors told me that I should journal my successes and failures when I'm investing, and it would help me improve my results. He was right. You are the recipient of my postmortems. You get to identify or get to see what I think are the lessons learned in those postmortems. I try to make sure that there is a lesson from each investment that I do a postmortem on. But when I review my mistakes, I think it's also important to admit failure and try to identify its cause. Humbly admitting the cause is probably one of the best things an investor can do, because then they will be best served by analyzing why they failed. And humility is necessary in order to identify that you did make a mistake in the first place. Number 5, think and then act. My last principle is that we need to think first. We need to identify what's going on. We need to actually have that process, back to what Charlie Munger was talking about, that forces us to think through something, and then we need to act. I think it's important as well that we identify the other side of it, is we don't want to get into this attitude of analysis paralysis and never making the action. We also need to say, you know what, I know enough, I think I'm ready, I'm going to go ahead and put my money into this investment. Sometimes the action could also be, no, I'm not going to put my money into this investment and I'm going to move on. In that case, sometimes the action is also, I'm going to, this is the price point that I want to buy in at. Anyway, thinking and then acting and committing to something is what will make us successful over time. That concludes the 5 principles I think are necessary for anyone to get their mind in the right headspace in order to invest successfully. In summary, you need to specialize in order to become an expert. You also need to train yourself to be rational. You need to commit to some form of consistency related to your investing. You need to review your mistakes and humbly admit your errors. And then finally, you need to think and then act. What do you think? Did I miss anything when it comes to investing psychology that people need to think about when they are investing? And if you think I have, please share it in the comments below. I would be more than happy to edit or update this list. Thanks a bunch for watching. We will catch you next week.